China is home to one of the oldest cultures on Earth, and its massive empire is dotted with Buddhist temples. When you step over the threshold of one of these temples in China, you are stepping into a space where time has no meaning. Buddhism has been practiced where you stand the same way since the building was painstakingly crafted. And that is fitting because Buddhists believe there is no end to time into the past or the future. Enter the Zen gardens of China to lose yourself in a centuries-long history. In this video, we explore the most amazing temples in China. We've collected a list of the top amazing temples in China, so make sure to include them in your list if you're a visitor. At first in the list, number 1, Temple of Heaven. The most famous temple in China, the Temple of Heaven isn't technically a temple at all. It's an altar. You won't find monks, worshippers, or incense here. But you will find stunning architecture in the heart of Beijing. The walled-off garden has entrances on all 4 compass points. The garden inside is meticulously kept in straight-line sections as to eliminate the imperfections of nature. The temple halls rise impressively above the garden grounds. The buildings are round while their foundations are square to reflect the ancient belief that heaven is round and the earth was square. Number 2, Hanging Monastery. Built straight into a cliff 75 meters, 246 feet, off the ground, the Hanging Monastery sure earns its name. Beautifully ornate Buddhist prayer houses are supported by long stilts punched right into the cliffside. Narrow bridges and small corridors connect these houses of worship, but you won't be able to visit for long. Large numbers of visitors have eroded the efficacy of the building's foundations. Out of concerns for safety, the Hanging Monastery will shut out visitors sometime in the near future. Hangshan was built in 491. The fact that it has held up this long makes it an architectural wonder. Number 3, Jokhang. You'll walk past Buddhist pilgrims prostrating themselves outside the ancient Jokhang Temple in the center of Tibet. They come to worship at the feet of the 1,300-year-old central golden Buddha statue, the most revered of all Buddha images in the world. The temple is maintained by Gelug school, but they accept all different sects of Buddhists to worship here. The dazzling gold roof of the 2-story temple houses a visually rich maroon and gold interior. Visit in the mornings when the temple is accessible and surrounded by pilgrims eating yak butter. Number 4, Shaolin Temple. The Shaolin Temple is the main worship temple of the 1,500-year-old Shaolin school of Buddhism. The temple and school have been the frequent target of attacks over the centuries, the last coming in 1928 when the school was set fire. The surviving halls have all been modernized for the tourist. Waves of selfie-seeking travelers fill the halls of this commercialized temple every day. Shaolin, famous for its practice of kung fu, is a bucket list destination for anyone practicing a martial art. The Wushu Training Center is a sight to see. You'll be treated to a yard full of kung fu newbies breaking boards and tumbling for the crowds. Number 5, Lama Temple. Right in the middle of the Buddhist firmament in Beijing, you'll find the glittering Lama Temple. The former residence of Emperor Yongzheng, the Lama Temple was converted into a lamasery in 1744. If you can only tour one temple in China, make it the Lama Temple. It is perhaps the most famous Tibetan Buddhist temple outside of Tibet, and for good reason. The Lama Temple, in the heart of one of China's biggest cities, features breathtaking frescoes, a 18-meter, 60-foot Buddha, in Tibetan form, tantric sculptures, gorgeous archways, handmade carpentry and dazzlingly ornate roofs. Number 6, Longmen Cave Temples. A staggering 2,300 caves are carved into limestone cliffs that extend for nearly a mile in Henan Province. The caves house some of the world's finest examples of Chinese art from the Northern Wei and Tang dynasties, 316 to 907. A series of metal and limestone stairs can take you to the caves higher up on the cliffside so you can see all 110,000 statues, 60 stupas and 2,800 inscriptions. The statues and Buddhas are carved right out of the limestone that makes up the hillside. Essentially, each cave is an ornate relief that you can physically walk into. Incredibly preserved, this etched cliff sits right on the banks of the Yi River. Number 7, Big Wild Goose Pagoda. Built in 652 during the Tang dynasty, the Big Wild Goose Pagoda stands 7 stories tall in southern Xi'an, Shaanxi province. It's been renovated many times throughout the centuries and originally stood 5 stories tall. One of the many purposes for the building was to house the sutras, statues and figurines of Buddha brought back from India by the famous Buddhist traveler Xuanzang. While the interior of the temple is now modest, it is worth the trip to see this ancient building rise above the modern surroundings. There's also an open-air mall just to the south that's worth the wander. Number 8. White Horse Temple. Tradition states that White Horse Temple was the first Buddhist temple built in China. The ancient temple, built in 68 AD, sits just outside the walls of the ancient Eastern Han capital. It's an easy visit for Western tourists because all signs are in Mandarin and English. The main temple has been refurbished many times over the years, notably during the Ming and Qing dynasties, in the 1950s, and, most recently, in 1973 after the Cultural Revolution. Numerous halls are opened up to manicured gardens and galleries in this beautiful temple. Note the beautiful statues like the two mythical lions at the entrance, the Jade Buddha, and the world-famous Sakyamuni and Maitreya Buddhas. Number 9. Nanshan Temple. Nanshan Temple is the largest Buddhist holy site built in China since the founding of the People's Republic of China. It features a towering 100-meter, 350-foot, glimmering white statue built onto a rocky outcropping in the South Sea of Sanya. The entire temple grounds is built with this statue as the focal point. Its main entrance plaza, surrounded by ornate white spires, reaches out to the statue in the sea with a wide walkway. A beautiful pond sits on one side of the walkway and a cluster of woods to the other to funnel your attention to the impressive, three-sided statue. At last in the list, number 10, Lingyin Temple. Enter the formal hall of the Heavenly Kings to enter Lingyin Temple. Chan Buddhism has been calling the Wuling Mountains home for centuries. The scenic mountainous area around the temple is as big of a draw as the Temple of the Soul's retreat itself. You'll have to pay for admission to the mountainous Lingyin Filai Feng scenic area, which is full of bridges, monuments, statues, grottos, artwork and pavilions. The temple is one of the largest and wealthiest in China. It's evident by the luxurious and ornate grottos that dot the campus of the monastery. Now it's time to hear from you. What's your favorite amazing temples in China? Is there something we missed? Let us know in the comments section below, and don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to Greenable if you haven't already. Click the bell icon to stay updated on all our latest content.